Hello, hello. It is Lindsay Landry, energy alchemist and heart shaman for healers and soul led entrepreneurs. So, I'm super excited to be here with you today. We are going to do some card readings. So, I am choosing to just have a recording because my internet isn't as fast as I would like it to be, and the videos get really choppy. So, it's just easier to do it this way. So go ahead and just pick intuitively pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And I'm going to have everything time stamped below, so you can just go ahead and click whatever pile you are choosing and we can get started. Also, before you do that, if you want to go deeper, I am currently offering some little mini session. So it's a 30-minute energy session where I'm going to do a card reading and then an energy clearing for you. And it's only $55. So if you want to go deeper and you are ready to shift, align, and clear your energy so that you can align to whatever it is that you desire, um, I'd love to support you in that way. You can claim that below. So let's go ahead and dive in. So if you chose the first pile, your card is Healing is Happening. You are not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. So beautiful. So I really just want to take a breath here. So if you're new to my channel, I don't just read the cards, I read energy. And so as I'm reading the energy, I'm offering you a transmission, an energetic transmission. The transmission itself is basically to help you find alignment and to help you anchor into the deeper part of you. And so even as I'm speaking, I can feel the vibration that's moving through me that is medicine for you. It's medicine to help you align to what you're needing to align to within yourself. It's medicine to awaken those parts of you in yourself that are needing to wake up and come online. So, whether this makes logical sense to you or not, or maybe you just feel it in your body, you might feel yourself being moved as I am speaking. Allow yourself to trust that, okay? And just by being here, just by receiving this, I promise you things will begin to awaken and align for you and within you. So healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. There's no coincidence that you are here. There's no coincidence that you are listening to this message. It is for you, okay? It is part of the healing process. It's part of the healing journey. Whatever has been happening in your life, it is for you. Sometimes things are happening, situations, circumstances, and it feels like, oh my God, why is this happening? You might start to feel like the victim. You might feel like you're wanting to shrink in, you're wanting to collapse. It is all for you. That doesn't mean that you need to be armor up. It doesn't mean that you need to be strong. It doesn't mean that you need to fight. The invitation is to find a space within where you can ask the question, what is being asked of me here? If this is for me, if this is for my healing, if this is actually to help me find deeper alignment within myself, then what? Sometimes things are coming forward to be released. Sometimes, we get triggered to see where we had an old programming or an old pattern that isn't really who we are. And so through the trigger, we can kind of see like, oh, that's not who I am. Like, can I detach from that? Or if you're receiving a reflection where you're not being seen or you're not being heard, it might be an opportunity to find those places in yourself that aren't feeling seen or aren't feeling heard. Or maybe it is noticing like where you're holding energy that isn't who you are, so people can't really see and hear who you are. So I'm going to pull a couple of tarot cards just to get a little bit more guidance for you. Okay, so is there anything pile 1 is needing? Okay, so the 2 of Wands, this is about a decision or a choice. Is there anything that would support them in this process? Okay, and then the Tower reversed. So the Tower is all about, sometimes it can be like a sudden moment where something's revealed to you or something happens. So because it's in reversed, that makes me believe that it's already happened. So, as I'm looking at this card, there's these little butterflies. There's also like lightning. There's this magical like dust that's happening. So even amongst everything that is happening, there's like this bigger picture at play. There's magic in the chaos. So I feel like a little bit of your process here is, can you trust the hand of God? Can you trust the magic in the chaos? And, sometimes when we're needing to make a decision, that can also be like deciding what is actually in your power and then handing the other things to God. You don't have to constantly be driving the ship. You can allow God and allow Spirit to work behind the scenes for you. I almost feel like I want to say, like, your choice could be to listen to divine guidance and to lean into divine flow. Okay, I pulled one more card for you, and it's the Five of Swords reversed. And so the Five of Swords is a lot about like self-judgment, self-doubt, regret, sort of these heavy feelings and like this heavy mental energy. And so because it's reversed, I feel like you may have been in this cycle of self-doubt, self-judgment, guilt, shame, all of these things. And can you just let it go? You don't have to keep beating yourself up about these things. Like, it's okay to let yourself move forward. It's okay to even recognize that that was part of the healing process, having that energy coming up. You don't have to attach to it. It's like the image that I'm getting is like bubbles rising to the surface. They rise to the surface, you see them, you feel them, and then they pop. So, what happens is we're so conditioned through believing that we need to be in a certain state all of the time, right? Like, well, if I'm doing well, then that means I feel a certain way. Or, if I'm successful, that means that my mindset is at a certain place. Or, things look a certain way. And I remember when I started teaching energy healing, I was feeling so, so messy. And I went to a friend's house, and she's a shaman. She's a powerful medicine woman. And it was raining. And it's interesting because it's raining here today. And I might cry as I'm sharing this because I'm feeling really emotional today. But when I got to her house, she said, look around. Nature is messy. Look at the mud. Look at the puddles. Look at all the debris everywhere. And she said, but that's how the seeds are planted. It is part of the process. Can you trust it? Can you trust that it's part of the process? It's not because you're doing something wrong. And when you allow yourself to surrender to that, there's a deeper state of flow that begins to happen, okay? So that's what I feel like you're being invited into. So if this was your pile, let me know below if this resonates with you. And if you want to go deeper, um, you can find the link below to schedule one of those 30-minute healing sessions where I'll do some card readings for you personally and we'll do an energy clearing. All right, my love. Okay, so we have pile number 2. All right, so pile number 2 is the second bloom. A second chance. It's never too late. New possibilities. So I mentioned this in pile number 1 as well, and I want to mention it here as well. So if you're new to my card readings, when I'm reading, I'm not just reading the card, I'm reading the energy that's present with it. And so whatever moves through me, through my voice, through the tone, it's part of the medicine. It's part of the vibration that you're needing to help you align to your highest path and to whatever the healing is that's here for you. So the second bloom, a second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities. I feel like just so delighted by this card. It feels uplifting. It feels like there's this weight that is lifted, that's being lifted. What I'm also really present to here is there's these, it almost feels like energetic layers. I wanted to say masks, but layers is the word that Spirit is telling me to use, that are wanting to be lifted. Spirit is being very precise with how they want me to communicate this specific reading, and even the words that are being chosen, it all feels very specific and important. And as I'm reading, what I'm feeling is like on the left side of my body, I feel this new energy. And then on the right side of my body, what I'm present to is like there's this sort of like darker, denser, almost like gritty earth energy. And so there's 2 different energetics at play here. I wanted to initially say that the energy that's on the right is the old. However, what I'm present to as I like look at it a little more intentionally is there is old energy that's sort of like mixed in, but it's also, it's not new, but it's a different flavor. And so we could look at this as like masculine and feminine, or we could also look at this as just 2 different parts of you that are wanting to come closer together. And so this energetic that's on the right, you might feel or think whenever you see that aspect of yourself, like, oh, that's just an old pattern, or that's old energy, that's not me. I want to challenge you a little bit here because it's both. So there's old energy mixed in, and it feels a little muddy. So it can feel confusing. But there are aspects of you that are very true that are also there. And so let me just see. Yeah, it's really tempting to want to just go towards this other energy on the left side because it feels very bright, it feels very open, it feels very soft, very loving, very like expansive. And both are needed. Both are needed. And part of this second chance, it's a chance not to abandon yourself. It's a chance not to leave these parts of yourself that have been a little bit lost in the patterns and the programs and in these energetics that aren't really who you are. So let me go ahead and pull a couple tarot cards to see if there's anything else to help clarify. So first I'll just ask if we can clarify this message anymore. Okay, so the King of Swords reversed. So the King of Swords is a lot of like mental strategy, focus. Because that's reversed, I feel like you're being invited to move out of that energy. You may have had a lot of, like, you may have been coming from a lot of that energy in the past, like where you were really focused, where you were really strategizing, where you were using a lot of your mental energy. Okay, interesting. So these cards came forward for pile 1 as well. So the Two of Wands and the Tower. And so there's a choice that you're needing to make. And that could have been in the past as well. Maybe in the past you had a choice that you needed to make. And you may have even had a Tower moment where something happened and, that kind of put you in this place where you needed to make a choice. And maybe you did make a choice. Okay, so what is pile 2 needing now? Okay, so 10 of Cups reversed. I want to say, this is about interesting, and 10 of Pentacles reversed and 7 of Swords reversed. Okay, so I feel like this is about you declaring, you claiming that you can have what you want. And, the 7 of Swords is a card of deceit and trust. And so you may have felt like manipulated. You may have felt like you couldn't trust someone, or maybe you couldn't trust yourself because of something that happened. And you might have like gave up on your dreams a little bit, or you might have felt like what you were wanting, you couldn't have it anymore. There may be like some grief here where you're needing to actually allow yourself to grieve what has happened, and I feel my voice as I'm saying that. But you may need to like let yourself grieve what's happened, the dream, the desires, this old identity. But the second bloom, it's there. You know, this energy of the second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities. It is there. You know, this is available for you. And even if you don't want this second chance, I still feel like it's important for you to honor this process so that you can clear out this energy and move forward for yourself. So it's not about what you choose, right? Like, it's not about if you choose to go to Florida or if you choose to go to California. I'm just totally making this up. But it's more about you saying yes to yourself and to healing whatever this is within, this muddiness, you know, that this energy that isn't yours. It's about releasing that so that you can have the second chance. And the second chance isn't about a specific, it's not about a specific thing. It's about you coming more into alignment with yourself. Um, and, you know, for many of you, there is a specific thing. So it might be a relationship, it might be a thing in your business, it might be a trip. Um, but there's something inside of you that needs healing and alignment first before you're going to be able to like step into this the way that you actually want to step into it. And before you're able to stand in your power in a really beautiful sovereign way, and in the way that like you're really being called to stand in your power. And you know, one of the reasons that you had this tower moment and things didn't really work out the way that you wanted is because you were holding energy that wasn't you. And this isn't about the other people, it's not about your business. Everything needed to happen the way that it needed to happen so that you could release this energy. It's part of the process, it's part of the plan. So just know that you're exactly where you need to be. And you know, there is this second chance that is already available, and it's really just about you aligning to you so you can step into it. So if you want to go deeper, um, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I'm offering some 30-minute sessions where I'm doing card readings and energy clearing. So this can be used for whatever you're needing, relationship, business, health. And yeah, I'll put the link below if you're interested in claiming one of those for yourself. So it's 30 minutes and it's $55 for the 30-minute reading. All right, my love. So we're going to go ahead and move to pile 3. Okay, so pile 3, the rose garden. Innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. I feel like I just want to take a really big breath here. And I shared this at the beginning of each of my other readings, and I'm going to share it here too. So the way that I'm reading today specifically, I typically always read like this, but it's very forward today, is I'm not just reading the card, I'm reading the energy. And so as I'm speaking, the energy that moves through me, the tones of my voice, It's all part of the transmission. It's all part of what's wanting to come through to help you align to the healing that you are needing today. Okay, so the Rose Garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. So I feel like a lot is going on around you, and there may be a lot going on inside of you as well. I feel a lot of like mental fatigue, and I feel like I want to just invite you, like, come sit down. Let me get a blanket for you. Would you like some tea? What do you need? I feel like I want to just like create this super nurturing space for you to just land and for you to just be here for a moment, for you to rest. I'm going to actually just take a few breaths and send you some healing energy. So you can just take some breaths with me. And I want to invite you to imagine a golden drop of honey. You may imagine it coming into your crown, your head, or you might imagine, being given this like on a spoon. And if it feels good, you can go ahead and just ingest it. This golden drop of honey. Divine energy, divine love, divine nourishment. Yeah, just receiving it into your body, your tissue, your blood, your cells. Allowing it to meet the places that need it most, whether it's the body, mind, spirit, emotions, your soul. Trusting its intelligence to go exactly where it needs to go. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple tarot cards for you. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups and the Lovers reversed. So you've been giving a lot. You have been giving a lot to everyone else. You have a really big heart, so much passion. And, at this time, it feels like you're being called to bring that energy to yourself. You may have recently ended a relationship, or maybe there's some stress that's happening in your relationship that's also causing stress, anxiety, worry. I have this feeling for you of like surrendering to God, surrendering to the divine. And I sort of want to invite you to claim like your value and your worth here. Like, you have so much love that you give. Can you see that? can you see the amount of love, the amount of passion that you give to others, that you put into everything that you do, everything that you touch? You know, there's been times in my life where I've been through really, really hard, challenging situations. I remember after the hurricane, I ended up in the hospital because I was literally giving so much. I was bleeding. I was bleeding to death. And as I laid there on the hospital bed receiving a blood transfusion, I told God, I said, I see that I'm doing this for the collective. I see that this is something that's moving through me and wanting to happen through me, and I want to be compensated. I know who I am. I know my worth. I don't want to have to pay for this hospital bill. I want to be compensated. I want to receive for what I'm doing. I want to be appreciated. I want to be valued. I want to have reciprocation of the love that I give. And, you know, the mind can do a thing where when we say that, right, like, okay, I want reciprocation, then it's like our mind might think, well, if I'm giving this person love, I need love directly back from them. And that's not necessarily what reciprocation is, especially when we're being in reciprocation with the divine. It's knowing that, like, I put all this out, God's going to take care of me because I'm a yes to Him, and I'm a yes to being of service of Him. And I'm going to listen to where I'm being called, even if that means forehead humbly on the floor and saying, I'm so tired, I'm humbled. Please help me, show me, lead me, guide me. So the other two cards that came up were the Magician reversed and the Ten of Cups. And, you know, the Magician is like a creation card, and also sometimes there can be this energy of like manipulation, or it can get a little bit muddy if it's not of the purest, highest intent. And so being that it was reversed, you know, I feel like a few things has happened. Like, you have been putting in a lot of energy and effort. And so that's certainly one thing. Another thing is maybe you've realized that some of the energy and effort that you've put in, it might not have been of the highest intent. And what I'm hearing and feeling for you is it's okay to just trust in what is, and trust in what you felt guided to do in the moment. And so the past is the past. You don't need to beat yourself up for it. You don't need to try to fix it. You don't need to, like, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was exactly as it was needed. Can you trust the medicine that was moving through you in that moment? You know, there's times when, you know, I get angry, I get frustrated, I say things. And I've come to this place of knowing myself on such a deep level and knowing the medicine that I hold and I carry. And I trust that. I trust the passion that moves through me. I trust the expression that moves through me in each given moment. And one of my clients, we've been working in a 6-month container, and each session is like, it's been so different because I've been in such a deep healing transformation process. So like each time we meet, you know, I'm bringing like a completely different energy. And she told me, she said, you know, it's been so perfect. You always show up with the exact medicine that I need. And she said, you know, sometimes like I'm afraid to come to the session because I feel like I'm not in a certain state or a certain place. But she said, you always bring exactly what I need. And that's a level of like trusting your own medicine. So I want to invite you towards that. Give yourself grace, be gentle with yourself, trust your medicine. And the other card that came forward was the Ten of Cups. This is happiness. It's okay to let yourself be happy, to have the things that you want, to have what you desire. And the other thing that I want to say here is like, you have been putting in all the hard work. So can you trust that, like, okay, I've put in the hard work. Now I just basically have to let it be easy. I get to enjoy the labor that I've already put in. Like, you've tilled the garden, you've planted the seeds, you've watered the garden, you've fertilized the garden. Now you just get to wait patiently for the fruit. You didn't do anything wrong. It's been perfect. Yeah, deep breath. So, if this resonates with you, let me know below if you were pile 3. And if you want to go deeper, go ahead and claim one of those energy sessions below. So it's going to be a 30-minute energy session where I'll do some card readings, and I'll also do an energy clearing for you, and the exchange is $55. So if you want to go deeper, that's a really fun way that we can go deeper. I also have 3-session packages, my Prosperity Breakthrough package that I am currently offering. So that's deeper dive shamanic sessions, which are so powerful and transformative. Um, so both of those ways are available to work with me if you'd like to go deeper. I am sending you so much love and sending you so many blessings.